Let me invite our guest for today. Kevin Goh Wei Ming is here.
Hi, Shaka.
Hello, hi, Grandmaster, an amazing chess player, a CA, and now the CEO of Singapore Chess Federation. Kevin, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. How's everyone in India?
Everyone's good. Everyone's good. Kevin, I was very, very keen to talk to you about this new thing which you have just accomplished and to understand a bit more about it. First of all, this is a picture that I really like because apart from, we both being there, I had a lot of hair. I looked fit and looked very good. But it was a very memorable event being in Singapore at that point.
You didn't come back either after this thing, like.
No, no. I think there's a lot that will happen in Singapore chess now that you are at the helm of things. But first, explain to us how was this process like? Like, how did you become the CEO of Singapore Chess Federation? Were there elections? Were you standing in the elections? What happened?
Yeah, so how this came about was really because we had this discussion with the president of the federation. So the president is like a volunteer. He's not full time. He works part time. I was the vice president, and I'm also a part timer, sort of. So after a while, like we decided that doing this part time and on a volunteer basis just there's a limit to what we can do. At some point, we felt that there is a need for a full-time sort of a leader position in the federation so that he can continue to develop chess and create more activities. So we have this discussion with the president for about 8 months to decide like who should be this person to take on the leadership position. And then somehow like he just why don't you go and do it? The funny thing is he sort of got me my job with Lucens.
So what's the name of the president of the Singapore Chess Federation?
He's Dr. Su Liang. We call him the legend. He's an international master, actually.
You were having a very high level job in Lucent's Diagnostics because you were the CFO there, Chief Financial Officer, and you gave it up to become now the full-time employee of the Singapore Chess Federation.
Yeah, utterly nuts, yeah. No, but I don't think I can compare to you, yeah. You start this chess based India on your own, yeah. So it's almost the same.
But I never had a job, like from everything I've realized that once you have a job, you have this security, you have this stability, and you give that up for this. Can you explain your thought process? I mean, are you excited about it? Are you nervous? What are your feelings like?
Yeah, I'm petrified. So obviously, I was with Lucens and we were doing like great stuff for 5 years, and we are now trying to expand in the US. So there's like big growth opportunities. But at the same time, I think chess at this point is thriving, and there's big opportunity to like continue the momentum. So for me, it's like okay, two very difficult choices. But I think at some point, okay, I probably should do some chess, and chess administration. But if I do this a few years later, I don't know how I will feel at the time. Yeah, maybe I will run out of energy. I may not have that motivation, or I spend more time watching Chess Base India and just.
One thing we know that you're not going to run out of energy because you are always on the go, yeah?
Running away from reality. Okay, I'm not really fast. I'm just decent. I'm a decent runner, and I like to do this half marathons and long distance, 10 km, 15 km. I think this long distance running, there's some parallels to chess because I think training for running, you can see the effects after hard work. If you have a goal, you can see your timing, improve over time. It's easy to track. In chess, it's not really the same because maybe the opponent also works hard.
What do you feel about the current situation of like talents in Singapore chess?
Well, I think we have so many good young players, but at the same time, this is Singapore. So in Singapore, it's like most people, they focus a lot on studies. Of course, many countries, of course, they do that. But I think in Singapore, there's this notion that if you don't do well in studies, you're useless in life. Yeah. At some point when they reach the age, let's say they learn chess when he's 7 years old, 8 years old, they become good. But by the time they reach 14, 15, they have all these important exams and they start to shift their attention to studies. And also, I think in Singapore we have a mandatory national service to serve in the army from the age of 18. I served. So all this is not good for anybody who wants to pursue sports. But okay, we have a system and we need to abide by the system. A lot of players just give up chess when they reach a certain older age. So I think what I want to focus on is really to build longevity in a young player's game.
Okay.
So it's not always about results, it's about loving the game. I hope one day Singapore team will have 5 GMs in Olympic team. I think it's very possible. Yeah, but there must be enough focus, enough motivation from the players, and a good environment.
In India we had this movie. It's in Bollywood. It's called Nayak, and in that there's this journalist who is kind of interviewing the chief minister of a state, and he asks all these pointed questions to him, and then the chief minister gets really upset, and he says, "If you really think that whatever you are saying can be done, then why don't you become the minister for a day?" And he says, "You got to be joking." And that the minister says, "No, I'm not joking. You be the chief minister tomorrow for one day." And that then he actually becomes one, and then in one day he kind of tries to change everything. So for me it's like, how would a day be like for you? Like you already left your job, right? And now you're starting. So how?
Yeah, I mean today is literally my first day of work. Yeah,
Right.
so I spent the first 30 minutes barking at my team. No, I mean just kidding. Well, there are so many things to look at, like from the financial point of view, that's from the operations point of view. Operations, it means like just organizing events. We have the training and development point of view. I'm grateful that we have Thomas Luther. You might know of him. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he's here with us. He's our training director.
Oh.
So we had this deep discussion, how do we build these squads based on the principles I've just said.
To speak about inculcating this love, this sort of knowledge about chess and everything, will that happen through sort of centralized programs by the Singapore Chess Federation, or will that happen through more events being organized?
I think we want to combine everything together. So like as a focus towards this line. So for example, our training programs, we are going to have certain modules on important chess books, and we will give like trainees, you have to go back and read the book,
Okay.
And we will try to do this like Soviet style, yeah? You come here, what is on page 42 of whatever, Dostoevsky Endgame Manual, if you can't say, you get out of the class, No, I think I lose my job in the 3 days, yeah? Through tournaments, I think we want to give away book prizes. I think that's one idea we have. I want to set up a chess library within the federation. I actually have plans for that already, but yeah, still waiting for somebody's supposed to give me an idea on what software to use, but that person has disappeared. Yeah, I need to go chase after that person to give me that software.
Okay.
And then yeah, reading on team-based learning as well. So even like I think in chess, because a lot of players here, they have one-to-one trainers. So we want to change that approach as well. I want all players to work together as a team.
She's the top rated player of Singapore, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a woman grandmaster, Gong Qianyun. So one time she was sort of my student. I think because she's so much better than all the other players, sometimes they look at her and just think there's no way I can be like her. So they even self-limit their ability. And I hope some of my younger girls, they will play in open section.
There was this tournament, right, that was held, and it was a very big event that was organized. So don't you think that there are sponsors like this who can come forward and do a lot of things for chess in Singapore? Yeah,
I think there definitely are, but because the branding of chess in Singapore is not like the brand in India, yeah, not even close. I think first of all we need to build that presence in terms of I think then that can only be achieved through some success at say the regional level, on the global level, and also to increase the presence, the media coverage of chess.
So does Singapore Chess Federation have a budget? Like, where does the money come from? Is it from the sponsorship? Is it from the memberships?
Yeah, so we have donors. So I have to like everybody needs to play a part to go around to seek donations from well-wishers. Most of them are chess fans.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think last year we managed to raise about 200,000 Singapore dollars. And I think that when the branding is strong enough, then we can partner with.
I thought in order to build the brand, as you said, there is a need for success stories, right? Is there any other way to build the brand?
No. So it's very sad to say, yeah, but I think at this point, these inspirational stories, success stories are the ones that will catch the attention of Singaporeans.
As the CEO of Singapore Chess Federation, I think you will have an important decision to make at some point. Like
Anish.
we had Anish in the chat right now. You will have a decision to make whether to allocate your resources to sort of doing these big events. Like let's say in India when we did the Olympiad, it was huge. There was a huge boom. A lot of people were talking about chess. There was also a lot of political figures who came in and spoke about it. The prime minister inaugurated the event and so on. But you put in a lot of funds and resources in one place. And I always think that, is this the right way in which you would think about doing it? Like you do a super tournament. Yes, chess gets the attention, but it's like 10 days and you spend like what you might spend in a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, like a lot of people want some big event in Singapore, because actually in many respects Singapore is quite ideal for such a thing. We have like decent infrastructure, nice airport, generally stable economy and government. But the problem is the cost, right? So if you invest so much cost to hold a Anish Giri Arjun Erigaizi death match at the Marina Bay Sands, what is sort of like return that we want to see? Yeah, like do we want to see massive media coverage, millions of Singaporeans watching the match? And even if they do, what can that translate into? I think you raise a very valid point. So whatever it is, I think if when you organize something like the World Chess Olympiad, what is the sort of outcome that you hope to get? But the organizing the tournament really increase, say, players who play chess? Did that increase the number of sponsors who want to come forward to raise money for chess? I think these are questions that need to be answered. And then you can assess, like whether this works or not.
I'm sure, given your chess knowledge, also your ability, I think your world view of things, because I think you've traveled so much, you have so many friends in different countries. In fact, if we look at this picture, even the world champion,
it's a random guy,
some random Norwegian guy.
Yeah, some random guy.
I think you are connected with the reality of chess that is there.
Chess players, especially the ones that are really obsessed and dedicated to chess, they don't seem to look at things outside of chess. They don't know anything outside of chess, which may be a good thing for them, right? If they really want to be really excellent at the game. But there's so much more, right, to life apart from chess. I think you should know about like different cultures and different economic situations in different countries, how people train, how people think. I think these things are important to observe and to learn when you go overseas to play, and not just like how to convert the isolated queen's pawn or better control the d5 square. Like these things. Okay, these things are useful to know, but it's not everything. Yeah.
Do you think that there'll be something more that can be done between India and Singapore in the coming years?
I definitely would love to have more arrangements or collaborations with India. Of course, we are not the kind of strength to work with the best players in India, but definitely I think maybe in terms of young players and exchange, in terms of matches, training camps with each other's countries. I have always a close connection with India. Like if you look at my Twitter profile, like most of my followers on Twitter, on Twitter are Indians. So I always feel like I feel more like an Indian than a Singaporean sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, but you did your bit by winning many events, becoming a GM after 21 years for Singapore. And I found this very cute picture of yours online, and holding this sort of something related to academics, I believe. Did you ever think that this is where your life will take you? From
Absolutely not. Yeah, never. I never imagined in my wildest dream. Because I sort of left chess when I joined the army. I just thought that was it. So I was sharing with some of the younger players that I left chess when I was 18 to join the army, and I only played like 5 tournaments in total. So that's nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what was your level like at that
about
point?
2200.
Okay.
Yeah. So decent, yeah. But I only play mainly like rapid and blitz. I couldn't call myself a real chess player. I just played a lot of blitz and rapid. And yeah, and somehow like through like funny reasons, I became serious in chess. So for example, like in the army, there was this opportunity to qualify for national team. And if I do that, I get some time off from the army. So that became my motivation. Yeah, like you can say it's like a terrible motivation. Like why are you trying to escape the army? Yeah, but I was thinking, okay, why not? So I played, and I finished like fifth, and I qualified for national team. I got 6 months off, and then my rating increased like 100 points in like 3 months. That was K20, so I became 2300. I became affiliate master, and then suddenly people were saying, okay, now you must try to be IM, and then it just kept going and going. Yeah, like some funny reason, and then okay, I became IM, and then yeah, you already know the story, like why I left my work for 1 year, mainly because of anger over some selection issue.
What kind of support is there in Singapore schools to take up sports, specifically for chess?
I think right now we are lacking of this structure within the Ministry of Education to include chess in schools. We have a couple of schools that by option they included chess, but it's more because of like the school is supportive of chess, not really because of like from the ministry level. And we have a Singapore sports school in Singapore, but that focus on the mainstream, the main type of mainstream sports that, for example, like football, swimming, table tennis. We don't include chess there. So I think this is definitely one of the things I'm looking at to try to include chess in some of these schools at least, and also convince young players that chess is the new sexy. Yeah, like don't go to the gym. I mean, don't go running. Like why you do this stuff? Do chess and look like Magnus.
Oh, nice. So I'm going to ask you to do something which is very you can say no to it.
Oh no!
But
Oh no!
this is something that I enjoy. So if we can jot down like maybe 3 points that you have on the top of your list, and we could note it down here, and then maybe after a couple of years or 3 years we can come back and have a look at it.
Yeah. So I think the most important thing is to develop a world-class training infrastructure. How do we have that structure to grow from one level to the other? What's the syllabus that we're looking at? What sort of programs, what sort of tournaments do we organize to support? Like training without playing, there's just no point. Yeah? Like we know this. The second thing would definitely to a world-class brand. And give chess like the recognition that I feel it deserves. It's more like trying to let the masses know that chess can be applied in many different ways, not just from a pure sporting point of view. It can be used as a way, for example, for people to be, for integration into society, for education, for discipline. When somebody has a kid, has a newborn, you will just think that, okay, in 4 years, I will send him to chess classes, because of course we should do this.
And maybe a final point.
I think this is really to have to establish a working, sustainable relationship with organizations. Sponsorships, partnerships. In a way, all these 3 points are sort of related, because when we have a strong infrastructure, we will have success. And we have success, we have increased media coverage. We have increased media coverage, you become a stronger brand. Right. And when the brand is stronger, you get money.
Amazing. Well, develop a world-class training infrastructure, make chess into a world-class brand, like improve the brand of chess in Singapore, and establish reliable and working relationships with organizations. This is going to be a very, very exciting next few years, Kevin, and I'm going to closely follow what's going to happen in Singapore chess, and I'm sure that people are going to follow closely as well, because I believe not many people of your stature in chess world, as well as in out of chess, you were also a CFO in a big organization, give up everything and work for development of their chess in their country. So a huge congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And wish you the best.
Thank you, man.